Welcome to Mount Lebanon, one of the suburbs of Pittsburgh. Mount Lebanon originally started out as a farming community and was officially recognized in 1912. In 1901, Mount Lebanon got its first streetcar lines, which allowed it to become even closer to the city of Pittsburgh. Today, Mount Lebanon is a community that spreads across more than 6 square miles in the western Pennsylvania hills. Most of the neighborhoods are lined with trees and have lots of sidewalks for the unreal amount of walkers here. Today, Mount Lebanon is home to more than 34,000 people and is split into 5 subdivisions called wards. Together, these wards come together to elect the commissioner of Mount Lebanon. Here in Mount Lebanon, there are a lot of parks, 14 to be exact. You have Twin Hills Park, Beggs Schneider Park, McNeely Park, Meadowcroft Park with baseball fields, basketball courts, and pickleball courts. This park is right behind Lincoln Elementary School, which we'll talk about later. Sunset Hills Park, Williamsburg Park, Rockwood Park, Hoodridge Park, Church Place Park, Iroquois Park, Robb Hollow Park. Bird Park, the golf course, Country Club Park, and Main Park. Main Park is home to lots of attractions for people of all ages, including Pavilion 1, Pavilion 2, musical instruments, the playground, the other playground, the pool, walls, greenery, and sidewalks. Right down from us is the ice rink, where we'll go next. Welcome to the ice rink. As far as I know, this is the only ice rink that is not owned privately, but rather by the municipality. This ice rink has 2 rinks. The main rink and the side rink. If you ever came public skating here, this is where you would rent your skates. The Mount Lebanon Hornets are the local minor league team that play out of this rink, and if you're lucky, you can see the kids play. Also, the Mount Lebanon High School team plays out of here, so during the school year, you can come see them play against other schools. I highly recommend seeing at least one high school hockey game because it's always super high energy and just fun in general. This is also where I first learned to skate. This wall is where they have everyone's name who played for the Hornets and made it to higher leagues like the NHL or juniors. Right around the corner from the rink are the basketball courts. The people in Mount Lebanon love tennis so much that there are lots of tennis courts, 10 to be exact. They love tennis so much that the municipality puts up bubbles over the courts during the winter so people can play. They're just starting to take them down now because it's basically summer. Oh, yeah, and the pickleball courts. This is the first baseball field. People play baseball here. This is the second baseball field. This field is split into 2 baseball fields, one here and one over there. On top of this being a baseball field, this is also a lacrosse and soccer field. You also have the batting cages for batting practice. You can even see the pool from down here. So right above the rink and the park is the high school. Now, this is the only public high school in Mount Lebanon, but not the only high school in Mount Lebanon. Seton LaSalle is part of Mount Lebanon. In any community, there are not only high schools, but also elementary and middle schools. In Mount Lebanon, there are 2 middle schools and 7 elementary schools. You have Jefferson Middle School and Mellon Middle School. You also have Hoover Elementary and Jefferson Elementary School, which is attached to the middle school. Markham, Foster, Howe, Washington, and Lincoln, the school that I said was in front of Meadowcroft Park. In total, there are 10 public schools in Mount Lebanon and about 5,400 kids, all in grades K through 12. The Mount Lebanon School District is nationally known and highly ranked. A few noteworthy people have gone to this school, including Mark Cuban, Ian Happ, Troy Apk, Matt Barkowski, Joe Manganello, Terry Hart, Colby Sorsdow, and Kurt Angle, just to name a few. Lincoln Elementary is on Beverly Road, right down the street from where a bunch of small shops and businesses are. A bank, a dry cleaners, a coffee shop, an ice cream shop, and a paint shop. In total, there are 21 businesses that call Beverly Road shops home. Like how many shops call Beverly Road home, over 34,000 people call Mount Lebanon home as well. One of my neighbors, Robin, has lived in Mount Lebanon for most of her life. So how long have you lived here in Mount Lebanon?
I've lived here since I was 3 and moved away to college and came back.
What did you like about growing up here?
I like the houses and the walkability of the community. Um, the also Mount Lebanon has shops, so you could walk to shops. And then the distance to downtown and the public transportation to the city.
So why have you chosen to raise your children here in Mount Lebanon?
Because of the education in the school districts, and then also the ability to walk to Uptown and Beverly Road, and then also to school, and then just the overall friendliness of the community.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now back to the video. Beverly Road is not the only place that many businesses call home. You have the Uptown District, which is a name for all the businesses that line Washington Road. Now, there's too many businesses to count, so I'm just going to name a few of them. You have an orthodontist, another ice cream shop, the saloon, a real estate office, a hardware store, a hair salon, a Chinese restaurant, which has the best General Tso's chicken ever, and a guitar shop. It's also where the police and fire station is in Mount Lebanon. Also, behind the fire station, there is a Mount Lebanon T station that helps up to 2,000 people a day get from Mount Lebanon to Pittsburgh. While these are just some samples of the things that are in the Uptown area, there are other places of interest up here too. For example, just down the street from where I am, you have the library. I can't film inside, so I took pictures of the inside. Just as you walk in, you can see some art on the walls by some kids at the high school. Once you get into the main lobby, you can see the tons of books that they have. Over here, you can see a study area, and if you walk through these doors, you can go outside into a courtyard with a small fountain. There used to be fish in here a few years ago, but they took them out. You also have a children's area with some Lego displays in the corner. Another building that I want to mention is the Mount Lebanon Municipal Office Building. It was built in the late 1920s, and the inside of the building looks like it walked straight out of The Great Gatsby. There is a small inscription on the top of the building that says, "This room is dedicated to the Mount Lebanon citizens who served in the World War." Since this was built before the Second World War, the First World War was the only war, so it's cool to see a period in history where World War I was the only world war. Heading out of the Uptown area, there are plenty of other places for people to shop. One of those places is the Lebanon Shops on Mount Lebanon Boulevard. Here you have doctor's offices, a gym, restaurants, a car wash, a bakery, and a pharmacy. In addition to all the places to shop in Mount Lebanon, there is one more that is drastically different from all the others. Mount Lebanon has its own mall named the Galleria. It even has its own movie theater. Also, on Washington Road, you have a lot of churches. The most famous one here is St. Bernard's. It is technically the tallest building in Mount Lebanon thanks to its steeples. In Mount Lebanon, there are over 15 churches and synagogues just in the community. There are 4 Catholic churches, 9 Protestant churches, 3 synagogues, and each one Episcopal, Greek Orthodox, Lutheran, Methodist, Unitarian, and Christian. The four Catholic churches are St. Winifred's Church, St. Anne's Church, St. Bernard's Church, and Our Lady of Grace Church. St. Bernard's was built in the Gothic Revival style and is by far the most beautiful building in the whole of Mount Lebanon. Every good community needs some good traditions, and Mount Lebanon is no different. Every year, we have an Easter egg hunt up at the main park. Every year, we also have parades. The Pumpkin Parade for Halloween and the Memorial Day Parade are two of the parades that happen here in Mount Lebanon. Every year on the 4th of July, we shoot off fireworks, and people come from all over to watch them. There's also a Veterans Day Memorial at the Armed Forces Memorial in front of the rink. I've talked a little bit about the history of Mount Lebanon, but I'm going to get more specific now. The land for Mount Lebanon was owned by James McFarland in the 1780s, and farmers in the area took part in the Whiskey Rebellion in the 1790s. In about 1850, a man named Reverend Joseph Chonkley brought back two cedar of Lebanon trees from a trip to the Near East and planted them in front of his home off of Bower Hill Road. Mount Lebanon's name was taken from a particular mountain range in the Ottoman Empire known today as the Republic of Lebanon, which is the only place in the world where those trees grow natively, Mount Lebanon. The name Mount Lebanon has been used since the first post office was established and a postmaster was appointed in 1855. Currently, Mount Lebanon is doing very well. During the video, I've shown you around Mount Lebanon, but now I want you to learn a little bit more about Mount Lebanon. And no better way to do that than to talk to one of the people in charge. Could you tell me a little bit about your position in Mount Lebanon and how long you have worked here?
Sure. Well, we'll start with the easy one, 18 years. So I'm the manager of economic development for Mount Lebanon. And as such, there's a number of things that need to be done. So I do a lot of administrative duties. So I write a lot of grants. I manage a lot of grants for various things that impact our commercial districts. A lot of times I'm the first person that someone will call if they're looking to locate their business here in Mount Lebanon. So that entails everything from site location assistance if they're ready to open that business. If they're not, then I can work with them on that. So I'll work with them on their business plan and get them to the point where they are best prepared for success should they locate here. Then we can go and do the site location assistance. I'm also a liaison to a number of different organizations and boards. And I'll get into what a liaison means in a second. But I'm the liaison for the advisory board known as the Resiliency Advisory Board, RAB for short. So that handles the resiliency chapter of Mount Lebanon's comprehensive plan. So I'm the liaison to that. I'm also the liaison to a number of different business development groups in the municipality. So our designated Main Street organization, which is the Mount Lebanon Partnership. I work with the Beverly Road Business Association, as well as some others. And then I'm oftentimes the face of Mount Lebanon, representing our economic development interests, various regional forums. But as a liaison, I'm sort of a Sherpa for various community groups, but also residents that volunteer to serve, say, on the resiliency board that I alluded to earlier. So I'll help them with projects they may be working on, supplying them information, as well as just the basic things of running a meeting and getting materials to board members and things of that nature.
Mount Lebanon is a great community. Why do you think it is a special place?
Well, Mount Lebanon is, and it's unique in the Pittsburgh metro area. And the reason I say that, and again, I'm the manager of economic development. We are a sovereign, separate municipality, but we have many of the characteristics that people love about cities. So we're very much like a city neighborhood, but sovereign. We have our own school district, we have our own tax base, we have our own staff, and our own elected officials. Um, what I love about it is that we have all the amenities of a big city, but are able to sort of control our own destiny through those elected officials and our school board, things of that nature. So it's a vibrant community. We have not just one business district, but multiple, all of which currently, knock on wood, are thriving and will continue to do so. We have a very strong sense of community here, and a lot of communities say that, but I've lived in a number of communities throughout the country. This one really does it. So a lot of people, they move here for the school district, they stay for the sense of community, and the business districts help their property values stay high.
Mhm.
So those are some of the main major reasons.
How do you see Mount Lebanon growing or changing over the next few years?
Well, we're in unprecedented times right now, so it's hard to answer that question. We're being proactive with reaching out to businesses about their own resiliency. So I'm meeting with various business owners in various sectors and in all the districts that we have, getting a handle on what challenges they're facing now, what they think they may be facing in the short and midterm, and then having those ongoing dialogues. Reason being, we want to keep the level of vibrancy we have. In terms of changing, Mount Lebanon is pretty built out. We're not going to be changing in that kind of a radical way that you might see in communities that are further to our south or further to our north, where there's a lot of greenfield development. So we're fairly stable. Where I see there being big changes is in a little bit in our built infrastructure, where we made a big $4 million investment in our Uptown Business District a couple of years ago. We're going to continue those investments. So you're going to be seeing what I'll call finessing of some of our public spaces through the Activate Uptown project. So you'll be seeing more placemaking type activities in the districts, more event based activities to draw more people to our business districts. But I think what you're going to see is not so much change, but a maintenance of success that we've been able to do for many years. We want to keep all of the great business assets that we have and have them continue to flourish while being surgical and attracting new businesses. So, um, we want to see the same businesses here, and then we're going to be seeing some new businesses to the community, which are going to add to that vital mix that I alluded to.
Okay. And then last question, what is your favorite part about Mount Lebanon?
That's a difficult question. Um, I, I, I mean, my job is the businesses, so that because it provides a great quality of life that a lot of communities aspire to. I can walk from my house and have Japanese, Chinese, uh, Uzbekistani food. I can shop at a local hardware store, and the list goes on and on. But I also have access to our region's light rail system. So if I want to go see the Pirates, I can take the train to the PNC Park or a football game or one of our many museums or downtown. So it's the just the great mix of amenities that we have here with our businesses, our parks, and our access to the larger metro area.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Like Eric said, there is a real sense of community here that you don't find anywhere else. I think that is special and rare today.